Hello, it's Wednesday, and I'm Jerry. We're here with our Midweek podcast. I'm also here with my good friend, Teak Hamilton.
Hi, Jerry.
Good morning, Teak. Good to see you today. We had a great day yesterday.
We did. Lots of food.
Lots of food. It was our staff open house. Kelsey's first time to experience that with us.
Kind of. And you said, some of y'all expect that's what we do all the time. It's
That's
not.
right, I know.
So she just didn't hear that she was supposed to hang out.
Oh, well,
Okay.
bless her heart.
Next year,
I
she'll
guess,
have another
I
chance.
guess we'll include her next time.
Open House 2020.
We'll try again next year. Hope you can be there to join us. No, it's a good day. We always enjoy getting to do that.
Yeah.
And then also getting to see a lot of friends come through.
I had somebody ask me, what exactly is an open house? And I was like, well, I think it's just we have treats and stuff like that, and people come by and hang out. Is that pretty much what an open house is? That's what we do.
It is. It's for us.
Okay. I didn't know if there was anything different.
I don't know either.
people.
I know there's food and people are welcome.
And we just do it at Christmas time, right?
We do.
Well, I know we do, but are there other places that do it
You
at
can
like
do it. Yeah,
Valentine's?
you can do it at other times.
Valentine's open house.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, while Teek's thinking of other ways for us to party in the office, then we'll start talking a little bit about Advent.
Yes.
Teek, we're almost to Christmas time.
We are.
And,
Remember,
and I'm not sure that's an excited laugh or if that's just, oh my gosh, it's close.
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
But remember a couple weeks ago, you said you felt like, oh no, you turned the corner and it's Christmas Eve. Now it literally is. You turn the corner and it's Christmas Eve.
Yes, it is. We have one more Sunday before Christmas Eve, our Christmas Eve candlelight service.
Right.
And this coming Sunday, our worship choir will lead us in our worship for a good portion of the worship. We still do some of the other things. We sing Christmas songs together. We read Scripture and light one of the Advent candles.
The final one.
And it's a fun day.
Yeah.
It's usually one of our biggest days of the year. A lot of people are there, families of choir members, and it's just. Did you get a text that we didn't know about?
I'm sure it was something about a
I just
Rangers
realized.
trade.
T got off to a fast start this morning. He's already been to Abilene and back.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, maybe not our normal preparation for this.
That's all right. But yeah, we had children's musical last week. It's always fun. We had adult musical come up this week, and you say it's all about the music. So
I know. And still, I've not got any pushback on that yet.
maybe they agree with you.
Maybe no one's listening. Maybe no one's paying attention.
I listen.
I know you. But anyways, we'll have a great day. The theme for Sunday is love.
Right.
And,
Appropriate.
appropriate. And last week was joy. And we forgot to mention last week that when you start lighting all the candles, that the joy candle is pink.
Yes.
The others that we are using this year are blue.
Right.
And then at Christmas Eve, we'll light the Christ candle.
Right.
So.
And then we will continue to light that.
Yeah, that talk about that. That's one of the traditions that we started here. That's
Well, we started that a
unique.
couple of years ago. That we started lighting the Christ candle after Advent and just continue every Sunday all the way up through Good Friday when we extinguish it on Good Friday at that service.
Right. One of the things that we talked about as we kind of go from year to year and evaluate and think about who we are and how we know that we can, how we're unique in our own church and with our resources. We talk about different things, and somehow it came up in one of those conversations following candlelight that wouldn't it be neat if we did that?
Right.
And then so that following year we did it for the first time.
I like it, but I like the symbols of Advent. I like the thought that we put in, and a lot of churches I know do that, into the symbols, into why we do what we do.
Right.
I realized that just the other day I was talking with Stacy. This is the first Advent that I remember in the last couple of years that I haven't seen a heavy emphasis on the cross and like decorations and things like that.
Right.
And that is one of my things, that stay in the moment of the manger. You don't have to look forward to the cross yet. There's a whole season called Lent for that. Or even Holy Week. But, you know, so that's exciting for me. It's nice to just be able to stay and celebrate the gift of the birth of the baby Jesus.
And it's something we've not talked about in here yet, and we usually talk about that.
Right.
That's another important piece to us, and the way that we develop spiritual formation through worship. So it's fun to be reminded of what these seasons are for, and it's not just one of those things where where we kind of take note and celebrate the season,
Right.
but we try to understand the rhythm of that season and how we ought to walk in order to deepen our own faith. So we do intentionally hold off on that,
Right.
and then we do in the spring start that emphasis on through Lent, Ash Wednesday, Lent, and then Resurrection Sunday. So
Right, because you run the risk of, even with just those two seasons, forgetting that there's a life in there. So when someone says Jesus was born to die, well, I mean, let's be honest, we're all going to die. But he was born to live also. There's some important stuff in there. There's a reason the gospel writers don't say, and then the angel said, good news, tidings of great joy, and Jesus died on the cross.
Right.
There's stuff in the middle that's important too.
Well, and we talk a lot about the importance of understanding the rhythm of things,
Right.
and spacing and the moments, and then not just trying to hit the high points of faith. And because we even, really make fun of the people who are Christmas and Easter attenders, and yet sometimes in our own faith we become really
We live that out.
We live that out even
Right.
though we're here every week. So
Right.
it's we're in the season of Christmas time.
Yes.
And it's a lot of fun. As we get closer to that, we get past a lot of things that we typically do to help create that good season of thought and meaning for us. And even celebrating with friends through an open house is a part of that. Our worship on Sundays is a part of that. But you do some unique things with students, and you were telling me about that earlier.
Right.
You'll do that tonight with them, correct?
Yeah, tonight, and we ended up having, so tonight is our Christmas experience, in a sense. We're calling it Christmas Journey Experience, where students will rotate through 7 different stations led by different adults who will talk about different keywords of Advent. So anticipation, reflection, hope, nativity. They'll work through all those, experience that together.
Okay. Yeah, and this is something you do each year, or in
We do
some form?
something, yes.
Yeah.
This is a brand new to us, so.
Okay. Oh,
so
good.
it'll be around the building, so
Well,
there's several rooms being used.
I look forward to our conversation tomorrow,
All right, it'll be good.
hearing about how that goes. But as we kind of wrap up the Christmas season, we do, in looking past that, and I just talked about not doing that, but one of the things that we're going to do different this year is that continue through our messages. That last Sunday in December, we'll focus on the first Sunday after Christmas. Okay. And normally I kind of turn that and start doing vision-oriented conversations, but we're going to let that rest and move down the calendar into January and continue this Advent conversation we've had, this Christmas conversation we've had, even past the Sunday where we light the candle, and the following, or the last Sunday in December. I also mentioned that because I'm not sure we'll podcast next week because
It's on Christmas
it's
Day,
Christmas
isn't it?
Day. I don't know what you're doing, but
We'll be at my parents' house that morning.
okay. Well, we're close. We've done it in different on location before. Maybe that would be a special episode.
I'd be all for that.
It would be special.
I'm not sure anybody would watch it all. I might be assuming people are watching or listening now,
That's a good point.
but
If we really wanted just to annihilate an audience, we would do it live on Christmas morning.
yeah, and we'd be up against the Christmas Story and the Red Ryder BB gun. We would lose.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no point in doing that. But we're winding things down fast and furious to our office and through our own calendar. And as we tonight with our folks, my peeps, in Bible study and prayer, we're going to talk about being thankful for this last year, different things that we see that God's brought us through each and as a church, and just hopefully a good time of reflection for ourselves.
When did you start Advent? Like, did you have Advent as a kid?
No.
Y'all didn't celebrate that?
No. In fact, in talking to some friends of mine, there's some churches similar to ours that are in smaller towns, smaller cities, smaller churches in smaller cities, and they really don't have much of an emphasis on Advent at all. And I thought nearly every church now did a Christmas Eve or a candlelight.
Right.
But apparently that's not true either. Huh. You get, as you roll into that and start to experience that, then you assume that that's the way it is now. But
yeah,
I know
we've done it for so long. Like I've experienced ever since. Man, it's been 12, 13 years now since I first experienced Advent at Crosspoint.
Right.
We got elements of that with Christmas Eve service and things like that. But that was my first introduction to it. And I guess it's just been so long, I just assume everybody does it. But this time of year, I'll see like sermon series and stuff like that. And I realize they're not in Advent. They're still trucking through Romans or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and I just you describing that kind of reminded me. We've talked here before about the responsibility that you and I have a lot of times in orchestrating worship or an experience, and I would say the two most special times, and they're vastly different.
Right.
But I think you would agree with me. But it's candlelight service and our Good Friday service.
Yeah. And number 3 would be Ash Wednesday service.
Yeah. I think you're
That's
right.
definitely. For the record, I just threw Romans out there. I don't know of any church that's going through Romans, just in case somebody does go, what? He's calling us out. I'm not. I'm just always
Cheek's email
amazed.
address is.
No. I'm just always amazed at the people that'll ask me about Advent that come into my life for one reason or another and say, well, what do y'all do at Advent? What does that mean? And then we start talking about it, and they're like, man, that's amazing. That makes it more meaningful. And you're like, yeah, I know. And I'm sad that it took me that long to get to it.
And I just talked to someone last week who is in a church that does Advent, and their comment was, if you want to call it that. And I go, well, what do you mean? How do you not know what Advent is, or to what other degrees do we take that? And of course, we are admittedly, we like being in a position of exploring.
Right.
You know? So I was asking because if we're missing out on something, I certainly wanted us to be able to embrace that as well. But anyways, it's a good season, good time. We've enjoyed getting to be with you for this last year. Over 6,000 downloads this year, 1,000 more than the first year. And I guess that means that we're going to keep doing this.
Just not next week.
Probably not next week. But anyways, thank you, and thanks for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Merry Christmas.